What if your bomber could hook better and last longer? In this video, I'm going to show you how I tie a bomber on a tube. Let's get into it. I'm starting in the front of the tube, leaving some room in the front and just working my way backwards. So the thing is about this fly is that the longer you're working your way backwards on the tube, the longer the body will be. So this is important. If you want a small bomber, you have to stop it earlier on. But I'm going to make a medium size, so I'm going a little bit longer. Like this. Cutting off the end of the thread. And then we're ready. This part of the tube I will cut off later on. The first material for the tail is the calf tail. I'm using white here, but you can of course use whatever color you want. As you can see, it's not leveled in the top here. I want this to be stacked together. So you can use a hair stacker or you can just do this. Do that a couple of times and then you will have pretty much the same effect as a hair stacker. Putting it in front, take off the loose hairs. And the length you want on the tail is depending on how you want the fly to be. But I do not want them too long, but probably a little bit less than the length of the body of the fly. So I'm working my way forward now. I'm using my scissor to cut this in an angle, approximately halfway the tube, because I want, I'll show you later. Working my way all the way to the front, and then we're going to attach the front of the fly. Cutting a new part. In my opinion, it's not that important to have the fibers so long in the front. You can have it a little bit shorter if you want to. So that is what I'm going to do today. I'm doing exactly the same. I'm pulling them apart, stacking them on top of each other. Do that a couple of times. The longest hairs out. And then it looks more like this. I separate them so they get a little bit more flat and put it on top like this. A loose turn, some more pressure applied, and then if you see there's some fibers rolling on the side, you can take that out or cut them with a knife if you want to. I'm going to do that just now. And make sure that it's aligned with the tail. Work your way back. And cut the opposite way from the last time. So you have to cut where it sinks down here, because I was cutting it in an angle earlier on. Let's see if I can actually do a good job today. We'll see. That seems like a quite nice base to tie the fly on. Working my way to the back, and then the next step is to attach the hackle. Right here I'm using hairline grizzly orange. You can of course use whatever you have, but the main thing about these feathers is that it should really be a dry fly feather. As you can see, they have approximately the same length all over. It gets thinner in the end here, but as you can see, the fibers is quite small and really bomber friendly. I'm attaching the hackle. This part I'm going to use to add another fly, another pattern later on. So what I would do now if I were you, I would take some glue or varnish and just put a drop on top of the end part and in front. That will secure the fly a lot better. Before we start tying the deer hair to this body, we have to secure the front and the back. So first off, I have some tape, just some standard tape. You can use painter's tape if you want. That sticks a little bit better and is easier to work with. But as you saw now, I was sliding the tape underneath the tube. Oh, I'm sorry, above the tube. And then I curl the tape just around the hairs in the front, like that. And on the back you can just take it around the hole. Pulling the hair from the hackle backwards so it doesn't go forward, and just roll it around like this. I personally like to keep on rolling so you can get it a little bit more away from the fly, like that. Alright everyone, now we're ready for the deer belly. This is dyed olive, so when I cut it, it looks like a real mess like that. So you take off all the excess loose hairs and the underwool, like that. And I also, don't have to do this, but I really like to. I take it and just cut it in the end. So when we're spinning deer hair, we have to be quite careful. I'm starting off with the loose turn. As you can see, when I'm pulling up, the fibers is also going a little bit up. I'm doing another turn and then applying more pressure, and I can actually just release it. I also use to cut the back end of the hairs when I'm using deer hair. So what I'm doing now, I'm starting to apply pressure in a circular motion around the fly, so it spins like this all around the tube. Do maybe 3-4 turns and move the thread to the front. Oh, it got off the vise. Sorry guys. Like this. Pull the hairs back gently at first, especially. If you use a lot of pressure pulling this back, you can just take it all away and then you have to start all over again. So I'm pulling the hair back working my thread to as near as the hair as possible, and we're going to do the same again. As you can see, it looks like this. Take off the excess small hairs, cut it in the top, apply it on the top, around a loose turn, apply pressure, one more, apply pressure, lift up the tail, cut it, and apply more and more pressure as it goes around, like this. Pull it, the thread to the front, work your thread back again, and now we need to stack these a little bit more compact. So you always have applying pressure this way from the back and meet it with your nails in the front and push them towards each other. And you can twist a little bit if you want to as well. Then you're getting more room to tie in on. So from now on it's just repeat, repeat, repeat. Do the same all over again. So before I speed up the video, if you find this useful, this video, I would really appreciate if you would take that 3 seconds to hit the subscribe button. That would really mean the world to me. So now you can see there is starting to be a little more room. You have to cover all the black part. So I'm doing the same again. I'm applying, loose turn and tighten it up so the fibers get trapped. Another turn, having quite some tension on it, lifting up the tail and cut that off, and turn it around the fly. 3, 4, 5 turns, and now we'll see if we can get some space for attaching just a little bit more of this this hair. Twist, really use some force, pull back. Oh, you can see how much actually I got room for one more. Two turns, applying some pressure, cut the tail and circle around the fly all the way around. Try somehow to, in some way, to get the, as you can see here now, the under tube is there. Lift that up a little bit. I don't know if you see it from your angle, but there is the tube. So when I'm coming in front of the fibers, I can just try to have one turn on the under tube underneath like that. or maybe two. Just take one. Do the same again, all around. Use your nail to get it, push it back so it gets more compact. If you don't do that, the fly won't look as good. Without any exceptions, I really think that. Trying to push the fibers back. And then we're going to whip finish. Lift the front, have again 2, 3, 4 turns underneath, and we're going to whip finish the thread to the front. I'm using black thread and a black sweater, so I'll bet you probably won't see very much, but I'm gonna try. So I'm doing this by pushing the hairs back and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns. And cut off the thread. So here you have the base before you have to cut the whole thing. So I'm locating where the top of the fly is because I want it to be tapered like a cigar, so it goes from slim and goes up like this and curls in the end. So what I like to do here is to find and cut the end part so I can visually see approximately where I should start. So I'm going to do that with an angle, not straight up and not like this, but in an angle. I can see. Do that all the way around. And here I have the wing on the front going up like this, so then I know where I am. So then I wanted to start to take just some big bunch of this here. The first cut is actually quite important because then you can use that as a guide for the rest of the fly. So this is a process that does take some time. So maybe I'll just do it in the best way I can and finish it while So what I'm going for when I cut this is the shape I want to. I want it. It doesn't look like that now. It looks more like I don't know, a ball. But afterwards I am going to just adjust it more and more and more. I think it turned out okay. The body. What do you think? Letting this go. Attaching. Well, I would actually like to use a white thread now, but you can use just keep on going with the black one. That's up to you. Working my way all the way underneath the fibers, cut off the thread, and then you have to remove this as well, because now we're going to tie in the hackle. I do recommend to be a little bit cautious when removing this tape, because it's quite easy to rip off the hackle if you're not careful. So here I have that. And it's off. As you can see, the hackle is still on, so I'm happy about that. And then we're just starting to turn. The main focus here now when turning is to have consistency in the spacing between, and do approximately probably 5 turns or so. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I also like to have a turn in the front, a turn or 2 in the front. But you can choose to not do that if you want to. I'm sorry about that. I have to do that again. That was not as good as I wanted. I have to look at your side as well, so I can see that the spacing is quite similar. Like that. That looks better. So what I'm trying to do next is to secure the hackle. One turn, keep a firm pressure, do 1 or 2 turns, and then we're lifting up this. You don't see, of course. I'm lifting up the front, and I'm trying to get underneath onto the inner tube. So from now on, I'm just going to tie this hackle in on the inner tube while I'm pulling the front up. Sorry. Then I'm twisting the hackle back again, and then I can take the front here as well, and I'm just going to do a couple of turns. 1, 2, 3. Cut off the hackle. And then you can whip finish in front here. See some hairs going back. Cut that off. And take a look at that. Here you have it. The bomber tied on a tube. Okay, here you have it, the finished fly. I just can't emphasize enough the importance of using this LIIIIIIINK knot. I have created a demonstration video on the same channel, so please check it out. I'm going to link it in the description, but you can, of course, follow the channel if you find this useful. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.